All right, let's switch gears here to the Reds. Tough to switch after that topic, but the Reds and the Mets went into Tuesday night tied for the final wild card spot with the Arizona Diamondbacks just a game behind both of them. The Reds lost, the Mets and Diamondbacks won, so the Reds are back behind the Mets by a game and tied with the Diamondbacks with 5 games to go here. Skinny, that game felt like the Reds season in a nutshell in a lot of ways. You get your hopes up and then right away they just kind of rip it out of your soul and play a boring game where they're behind the 8 ball and kind of lifeless. Let's start with the crowd because they did the whole packed GABP.
Yep.
It was certainly a good crowd for Tuesday night in September, what the Reds normally get. But I was surprised that it wasn't more full. I thought this was going to be like, oh, this is a playoff game for the Reds. Do you think it was raining earlier in the day and it's a Tuesday night? Or do you think people have kind of given up on this team already? It's like, you need more than just being tied for the 3rd wild card spot.
Yeah, 30,000 on a 2. To make that, listen, you get a chunk of your fan base from season ticket sales, right? And they don't have a ton of those. I think the fact that you had that many people on a whim, they had 29,000. We'll just round it up to 30,000 on a Tuesday night. I think that's pretty damn good that people on a whim said, yeah, I'm going to go to the ballpark tonight. I don't know what else you expect of them. Again, these are things that in life, to do something on a whim, that's hard to do. Again, a lot of this comes, if you're a season ticket holder, you're already invested in that. So you're probably going to go, or at least your seat is already accounted for. So I think that was pretty damn good.
No, I'm just thinking more. I'm not criticizing anyone here. I'm more so just thinking about like clinchmas or different times where it's felt like, hey, there's a huge game where the Reds have a chance. There haven't been many of those in my entire lifetime, but certainly in the last 10 years, it feels like those games have been really well attended. It's like a fully sold out, loud, rocking place. This was not that. It was a good crowd, but a lot of open spots, even in the lower bowl. I was expecting a little bit more of the playoff atmosphere. And then, of course, you get down 4-0 right away, and it kind of takes the wind out of the fan sails. There's not a lot to cheer about there. Well, did you blame Tito at all for not opting to use Hunter Green in this situation so he would get a second bite at the apple given the off day?
Yeah, no, I get it. Because you could have gotten 2 starts out of Hunter this week, right? Last night and Sunday if you needed it. But I'm okay with it. Hunter threw 109 pitches on Thursday in the complete game. I think, the other part is if you do make the playoffs, I don't think you just want to make the playoffs just to make it. Wouldn't mind having Hunter Green start game 1 of the playoffs. Right. So kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But
you can line him up against Skeens tonight, right?
Brady Singer had been pitching really well. And, he had the awful first and then kind of settled in after that. And, you are allowed to score more than 2 runs. At least they scored more than 1. Good for them. Congratulations to them. But this offense is just, it is so putrid. It's ridiculous.
Were you surprised that they didn't run more?
Yeah, I am. I'm always surprised they don't run more.
Because, it seems like that's what they were built for originally. They don't have the power. And they were in situations multiple times where it's like, just ground into a double play.
I think the last 3 innings, 7th, 8th, and 9th, all ended with double plays, did they not?
Yeah, and it's kind of, I'm not saying Ellie wasn't trying to run a little bit there in the 9th, but it was surprising to me that they weren't being more aggressive, especially with the catcher that was back there for the Cubs.
For the Pirates, you mean? Yeah,
the Pirates, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I wish they were. I think they are built to run more, and they just don't.
Yeah, it's a little strange, I feel like.
This would be such a Reds thing to do this season, right? To sweep the Cubs, get yourself into a spot, and then somehow lose this series to the Pirates. I'm not saying they will, but that would be this season in a nutshell. And then go to Milwaukee and salvage things.
It just feels like this thing is because the Reds aren't living this in a vacuum. The Mets are basically doing the same thing to their fan base right now.
Correct. Right.
So it's like it doesn't feel like this thing is going to be over until the final day.
And then you watch Arizona's going to pass them both.
They might. They really might, because it doesn't seem like the Reds or the Mets are interested in figuring this out.
Yeah. No, it's the other part too is I'm just trying to figure out this whole Sal Stewart usage thing. Can't we play him more? Yeah,
the whole idea, I thought, when they brought they talked about this, they were waiting to bring him up, and they're saying we want to make sure he's playing every day, and then they brought him up. We're going to play him every day, and then they bring him up, and it's been kind of strange the way they've gone about this.
Yeah, it's been odd to me. I get the whole we're trying to play some platoon stuff, and Tito has an unwavering love that I don't understand for Gavin Lux. I like Gavin Lux. He's a nice 12th player. He's not a number 3 hitter in anybody's lineup at any level.
I would agree with you there. So I think this was an Ask Skinny Anything question. We can just do it now, though. What your final prediction here on the Reds? We're not going to talk again, I don't think, before this is over. So do you think they can pull it off and sneak in?
I do. I honestly do. I think they can pull this off. I think they win the last 2 games of the Pirate series as we record this on a Wednesday morning, which means you have to beat Paul Skeens, but you're doing it with Hunter Green. And I think somehow they go to Milwaukee, and Milwaukee's just playing out the string, right? They got. I mean, I guess they're playing for seed. Maybe I got to look closer to where they are with Philly at the moment. But I do. I think they find a way to pull this off. I think they're going to lead you to your point to the very last day and somehow pull this off.
All right, there you go. Let's
what a win by the Mets, though. I mean, they're down 6-1 on the road, and the way they've been playing, that felt like okay. You're still going to be tied after tonight, and then you look up and they win 9-7. You're a game behind all of a sudden.
Yeah, they're talking about on the Reds broadcast how the loudest cheer of the night was when they flashed the Mets score up there early on and they were down by a bunch. The Reds fans got all into that. And then not only did the Reds go on to lose the game, but the Mets also come back and win it. So
by the way, in Minnesota, it was late in the game, and I have NFL GSIS up that gives you stats as the game's going on, but it also has all the scores of the other games. And I'm looking and I see the Cleveland score go to 13-10 final. And I clicked on that real quick to see what happened, kicking the field goal. I turned to a couple people. I go, holy cow, Cleveland just came back and won. And all of a sudden you could hear the crowd start to cheer a little bit. I'm like, oh, I think they're just now finding out. And then they put the score up on the scoreboard, and that place rocked. It's crazy how much certain fan base, like you hate certain other teams. And obviously Minnesota has a long disdain for Green Bay.
Yeah, those fan reactions when you're in the stadium for other scores is always funny to me. I like that.